Okay, we are ready to go. Well, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah for any of you that might celebrate Hanukkah. My husband's family celebrates Hanukkah. My family celebrates Christmas, so we get to do both. So I'm just so excited that you guys joined us this morning. Again, my name is Rachel Gershowitz, and we are so happy that you're here on this Merry Christmas Eve. And I just don't even want to talk because I want to hand it right over to our guest speakers. I have on the Zoom with us this morning a power couple, Jay and Julia Johnson. And we had a conversation 2 days ago, and I took 3 pages of notes, and it was just such incredible information. Julia had been on the products for 2 years before she even considered the business. She was an engineer, and her husband, Jay, an attorney. And they were just using the products and loving it. And I think Jay overheard Julia on a conference call and said, I think we need to kind of check out this business. So they went to a celebration, and they've just been just blowing up ever since. So I would just love to pass it over to you guys and let you share your story and all the incredible tips that you shared with me the other day. I think the team would just love that. And it's just going to really help us go into 2017 with a bang.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rachel. And thank you everyone for having us on this morning. We are so excited to be able to share. And I am so impressed with the amount of people on this call on Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas to everyone. And Rachel did a great, sharing our story. And really when it all started for us was 2012. And my friend Bonnie Petrel out of Atlanta, you may have heard of, introduced me to the products. She said, I think this might be something of interest to you. At the time, I was a divorced single mom with my 2 boys. And I thought if there was any way I could have more energy and better sleep, it would be so awesome. And so Bonnie said, just try it and see. So I honestly did. I didn't do any research, nothing. I just trusted her. I knew she'd been a former nurse. And so I just started on the products. And like so many stories you hear, a weekend, I was like, what and how and why is this working? I honestly think I didn't expect it to. And in the process, I lost 5 pounds and 10 1/4 inches, which was not even on my radar. That wasn't even part of it. So that was a nice little side effect. But then when it did work, my engineering side came in, and I was like, okay, how and why did this work? So I really got into the science. I love the science behind Isagenix. I say I almost got bogged down in it. I just loved reading about it. I thought it was so cool. And so really at that point, I just used the product. I told, a few close, the little sharing, the little dabbling. That's what I did. I told my girlfriends, of course, my parents, I told them they had to do it. So that was it. And I was a consultant, I think, for 2 years, and made it a manager and then fell out of that, so I really wasn't focused on business at all. In the meantime, I met Jay. And he was practicing law and traveling courthouses. We live in the panhandle of Florida. He was traveling from Pensacola to Tallahassee, and basically had the gas station diet is what I like to call it.
She would initially she'd bring me a shake on the beach. We'd meet when I wasn't on the road to court. We'd meet down there on the beach for lunch break, and then she started providing me with some of the meal replacement bars, which when I was on the road for court, I loved the convenience of those because it saved me time, because my territory was Pensacola, Tallahassee here in the panhandle of Florida, so I was on the road almost every day. And so it gave me a healthy option and saved me an hour of time so I could get back here. So the convenience was huge for me. And at the time, I liked to run to de-stress, and my thought was I could just eat whatever I wanted to as long as I was running 4 or 5 miles a day. I was good to go. And so what I found from these products was I actually work out less, and I dropped about 20 pounds, and don't run near that far these days. And then I had her convinced that taking naps was normal. I'd say, well, lots of the president's naps. After every lunch, I'd think I needed to lay down, take a nap, or in between court hearings, if I had an hour to shave, I'd go sit in the truck and give me a little shut eye. And now it's not even crossed my mind anymore. So the products, I mean, they've been wonderful to me. And yeah, Julia never mentioned anything about the business side. And I came out of law school, I was 25, very passionate about practicing law, had these huge dreams. And then that didn't take long for those dreams to go away. And I got real old working 60 hours a week. And I'd show up after we did go to our first Isagenix event. I was like, wow, these people are so positive. And I'd never seen anything like it. And then, I come back and go to court, and you're lucky to see a lawyer smiling there. And so it really fired me up about this opportunity and the positivity and the success that Isagenix has.
And if you can't tell, Jay's originally from Opp, Alabama. So that's where the accent. Everybody just loves listening to him talk.
L.A., Lower Alabama.
But yeah. So really, I mean, yeah, Jay was in the courtroom, not a happy place. Before staying home with my boys for 8 years, had practiced as an engineer and sat in a cubicle working on computer code, 14 hours a day, not impacting anybody. So we really were searching for something where that's what we saw at our first event, the impact we could have through Isagenix and the vehicle that this is and the gift that this is. So really it was Jay, honestly, I think it was a week before Celebration 2014. I'm so forever grateful. He booked everything and said, we're going. And so that was our first event. And we have one funny story about that, and then we'll kind of get into the impact really of events. But this just shows for us, we went there not knowing what to expect. Our team was having a meeting that afternoon prior to the event starting. So we get there, we came literally off the plane with our luggage, get to the room in the conference center that this event is in. It's probably about 500 people in there, maybe. And sit down. It's supposed to be business casual. And Jay looks around, and there's someone sitting kind of across the aisle from us with a tank top and board shorts on. And Jay looked at me and said, who brought their kid? And he's like, this is, and of course he's in his polo and his khakis, and, he's like business casual. And then we get to the recognition piece. And they just said, stand up if you're at this level, if you made this much in the past year. And so we're watching people stand up, and it gets, fewer and fewer, and they're at $700,000. And this kid stands up. And Jay turned to me and looked at me, and he said, we can do this. And if, in Isagenix, most people know it was Jackson Parr, who is from Australia. So that's, their culture. We love it. But that was our first, a meeting with him.
Well, the funny thing about that story is that was our first event, August of 2014, and then we came back and went to work, but not with Facebook. Mm-hmm. And so we really didn't gain any traction until fast forward to January 2015. There's a Super Saturday in Atlanta, and Michael Klaus had just done a 10-minute YouTube video with Jackson Parr out of Australia, because he was fascinated by how Jackson was building his business without getting people on the phone and doing it through Facebook. And so I was like, that's it. We got to try it. We got to try Facebook. And that, as soon as we did that, our business took a huge leap, tripled at the time. Like the first month we started following the formula that Isagenix trains on, posting 2 to 3 times a day on your page. And so that really helped us after incorporating Facebook.
And I've shared this before with so many people, but when I was first told that I had a call with a woman out of Birmingham who, I admired, and I was like, well, let me touch base with her and see. And she was the first one who said to me, she said, Julia, it's Facebook. And I said, what else? Because I was not going to do Facebook. I was the person who did the token Christmas picture, Easter picture, 4th of July, whatever, but I was not active on Facebook at all. I had 249 friends when I started Isagenix and said, okay, I'm going to do this as a business. And I now have 2,700, I think. So that is huge, because you look at Facebook or social media, look at it as your billboard. I mean, you're